Alrighty, and welcome back to another episode of the Comics Run World podcast. As always, I'm your host, Mateo, and new, fresh look from my co-hosts.
What is up? It's a different look for sure. Yeah. I mean I don't hate it as much as I thought I would. I thought I was gonna really hate it, but it looks better than I thought
Yeah, it
it
looks
would
good.
look. I just went back home, visited my mom and a lot of my family, and one of my friends was in town, and I thought it would be funny if we both got our hair bleached, so we did. And yeah.
Awesome. Well, today is going to be a TMNT Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle centric movie because we both watched the
Said
newest.
centric movie, you mean episode?
Oh yeah, this episode. um, But yeah, we saw the movie. But before we get into the discussion about the movie and TMNT Volume 5 from IDW, I got to pose this question. What are you reading right now? What are you watching? What playing? Anything new?
I mean, I should say this on my trip. I read Batman Hush for
Oh
the first time.
yeah.
I read Batman Hush. I had never read it before,
Okay, how
and
was that?
I loved it. I loved it. I loved it.
Oh man,
I loved it.
dude, I reread that earlier this year, and it was the first time I reread it since the first time I did, which was like 6 or 7 years ago, and that was the first comic book I've ever read, like actually read.
I feel like I hear a lot of people say that it was either their first Batman or their first comic or like
Yeah, and like it makes sense because you get introduced to like 90% of Batman's characters in that one story. And I remember being good, I'm really liking it, and then I reread it, and I was like, "This is ass."
damn, dude, I loved it.
I was like, what are you doing here?
Got on League of Comic Geeks and I rated it 5-star.
Oh man,
What are some of your critiques?
I just don't like how like the story is structured, and like I think the Hush is just like, eh. Like I do like how I like the character, like its origin and like how he became like who he is, but like his whole like motive of like being Hush was kind of lame.
I don't even like fully disagree. I think I think well, at first I kind of thought the reasons all like the villains were in it were kind of meh, but
Yeah.
I think they tie it pretty well together at the end with Riddler. It made me kind of buy everything more, but I don't know. I just had a lot of fun reading it. I just like really had a lot of fun reading it. I agree. Like Hush, I don't know. He's not like one of the better villains in Batman's Rogues Gallery. Although I know Paul Dini wrote a Batman Hush story that I've heard is pretty good, and it's supposed to be like the follow up to this.
Yeah, I think it's Heart of Hush, something like
Yeah,
that.
so I want to check that out, and maybe I'll like Hush a bit more. But I mean, I don't think I'll ever like think he's one of Batman's like better villains.
Yeah, no.
Like everyone for some reason for the sequel is like, oh, what if they do Hush? And I was like, I don't really want
Nah.
to.
Nah. I mean, they do kind of tease it in the Batman.
Yeah.
But no. No. They could make Hush better in the movie, honestly.
Yeah, maybe they.
So
Yeah, it wasn't really Hush. Like he wasn't the reason I liked it. I loved the Batman Superman fight. I loved Batman's dynamic with Catwoman. I loved the art. I
oh
mean,
yeah.
it's just like perfect. The issue with Joker, I feel like it's probably controversial because it's like Batman like almost kills him, but I really liked it. I liked the when Jim Gordon is talking to Batman. I liked it.
Yeah. I mean, there are like the artwork is just like one of like the best things about the story. That's why
Yeah.
it's like, isn't an absolute edition because of the artwork. But I don't know. I feel like it's just like the way I remembered the story at first didn't reflect my reread of it. And like I know I used to do like a Batman checklist where I just went on and just read like 8 different Batman stories back to back to back to back, and just rereading Hush, I was like, this is like the overall story. I was like, I did not buy, and yeah, just I don't know. I just Hush as a character, like his upbringings are cool. Like the reason why he is like okay, but like just the way he executes everything is just like
I forgot about that. I actually really like the twist at the end where like he doesn't hate Bruce because his parents died, but he wanted his parents to die,
yeah,
is what he tells Bruce. I thought that was actually a really interesting twist that makes him like he's like, damn, this guy's like a villain. He's not like a good guy that went bad, like Harvey Dent or something. This guy's just like a piece of shit.
yeah,
So I did like that.
yeah.
But before we go on to the Turtles, Batman Hush or The Dark Knight Returns, which one do you like more?
Oh, Dark Knight Returns.
Really?
Oh yeah, definitely. There's so many more good elements in the Dark Knight Returns compared to Hush, because like I could just think of like a couple, like a very select few with Hush, but with like the Dark Knight Returns, there's like a lot of things I enjoyed more versus Batman Hush.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Alrighty. So since this is a TMNT centered episode, we're gonna start with the movie.
Okay.
Now, I watched the movie 2 times. The first time, I almost fell asleep, not because of the quality of the movie, but because of how late I saw it. So I was like, just like, I was like, throughout the entire movie, I was like, I just wanted to end because I was so tired. So I rewatched it again, and I really liked it a lot. Um, yeah, I'll just start off saying I really liked it, and want to get your opinion on it too.
I thought it's a really good movie. I had a good I enjoyed it. I
Yeah,
enjoyed my time with the movie. Yeah, just
all right.
another good Ninja Turtle movie. I mean, it's not my favorite interpretation of the Turtles, but I don't think that's a bad thing. I think
Yeah,
this movie's intended audience is teenagers, and I think the teenagers are gonna love it.
yeah,
And I think that's a good thing. Like,
definitely.
there's a billion different interpretation of the Turtles, and there's like a million that I love, and to see a different interpretation for a different audience isn't a bad thing. Like, and there's still a lot here that I loved.
Yeah, agreed. I really like the animation style in this. I thought the animation style was really, really cool because it kind of mixes 3D and 2D elements, which I was like, this is like really good stuff.
One thing I noticed that I loved was the smoke effect from
Yeah,
fire was really cool. It literally
yeah,
looked like drawing. I that was one thing of the art that I specifically noticed that I really loved.
yeah. I remember I was just like, it was like just so unique, and I know that the creators got inspiration from Into the Spider Verse and like how that's animated, and it's not like they were inspired and did it like verbatim like the same exact animation style, but like they did like a unique way to do like the animation where it's like a bit choppy, but like it makes sense with like the story and like how it blends different types of animation with 2D and 3D. Um, I really like it. There's a lot of great action scenes which I really like, especially when they're trying to get April's scooter back from that workshop. I thought that scene was really funny because they're just all messing up and beating up the bad guys at the same time.
Yeah, I liked the opening scene where their eyes are like white and they're
Yeah.
kind of acting like the the like normal Ninja Turtles, and then they revert back to their like normal teenager selves. I like that scene a lot. That was funny.
That was yeah. It's just I just like their whole dynamic as like turtles. Like they feel like teenagers. They like
Hmm.
make jokes. One of my favorite scenes from the movie was I was like they just did they just fought some bad guys and then they're just like in like a semicircle or whatever. They just keep saying like random like New York stuff, saying like like let me get a bacon egg and cheese, yo Ock, let me get a bacon and cheese with the bev.
Yeah, dude, that part was so stupid, but it was so funny. I actually did love that part.
That's like my favorite part. I mean, it's just so like it's so stupid but so funny. It fits like their characters like really well, and yeah, it's
Yeah.
just it's a great moment. There's a lot of funny scenes. Out of the character, I'm gonna propose this question to you. Besides the Ninja Turtles, who are your favorite characters in this movie?
Oh, definitely. I don't even Ice Cube. Ice
Ice
Cube
Cube,
is
yeah.
so Ice Cube is actually making me laugh like so hard.
Okay,
I know he's Superfly, whatever, but
yeah,
I mean, he was just straight up. He played himself, but like
yeah.
he was so funny. I thought he killed it. Uh, I didn't know like how stacked this cast was until after the movie. I like kept showing big names played
Yeah.
like some of the random mutants. Post Malone's in it.
Oh yeah, as with Ray Fillet.
Yeah, he's the one that sings. But definitely Ice Cube's Superfly. Also, Giancarlo Esposito's in the movie for like 30
I
seconds.
know. What? What happened? But I feel like since like he's just in like the beginning for like a few seconds and they just take him away, he's got to play like a big role in like because
The
I know they
second.
because I know they greenlit the second movie and an animated series, so I'm pretty sure that's gonna play a bigger role. But my favorite character in it was Mondo Gecko.
Yeah, dude. Was he Paul Rudd?
Yeah,
Yeah, I loved Mondo.
Mondo was it was just so like I see a lot of people say this is like the most Paul Rudd character he's ever played.
I can see that.
And it makes sense. It makes sense because he's super like weird and like does like a bunch of stuff. And one of the things that I really found funny was when they're getting in the van to like do like the to look at the weapon that Superfly did. One of them asked like, "Are you okay to drive?" And then he's just like giggling and says no.
Yeah, oh yeah. I remember that.
I thought that was
Yeah,
really funny.
I remember that. Mondo's also really great in the comic that we read, Volume 5.
That is true. Yeah, he
Mondo's
is really
really
good.
I like him there too.
I after I watched the TMNT the second time, I started reading Volume 5, and I was like, "Oh shit, Mondo Gecko's here,"
Yeah.
which is really cool. What else? I see a lot of people like being a little mixed on this part where they're kind of iffy on the whole romance between Leo and April because I know like was it Mikey in the 2012 series who had a thing with April, or is that in the Michael Bay movies?
I know in the Michael Bay movies they're really flirty with Megan Fox.
Yeah, I saw like a whole clip saying like when Mikey says his you can feel his shell tightening. I'm like, what?
I mean, no matter what, it's always going to be a little weird when a
Yeah,
turtle is trying to get with a human. Like,
that's true.
I mean, I think it's funny when like in the IDW series we've seen like Mikey like being flirty with like that princess. Like it's funny and like stuff like that, but like when it's like, oh, let's like date, it's like, this is
Yeah,
a little weird.
yeah. Um, what else? There was something else I want to talk. Oh yeah. Um, I see like also another thing that I see people be like iffy about is the interpretation of Splinter in this, and how
Yeah.
people didn't really like Splinter in it because he's just like kind of like lazy, just laid back, not really the wise was it like a samurai warrior or whatever. Where he just learns his stuff from like VHS tapes from like the 80s.
Yeah, he's well the VHS tape thing. I thought like I don't know. I thought it was like funny and like
Yeah,
it was just like a funny thing. I get like people are like, oh, but they're supposed to be, but like I don't know. It was funny, whatever.
yeah,
But I feel like this was like I don't know. We kind of got like a little character growth from him. We see him as like an
yeah.
overprotective father, and then he kind of becomes the Splinter we're used to. Um, I don't know. I from pretty much every character, like it's not my favorite interpretation of them, but I appreciate it. Like it was something new.
Yeah, I think people are also tying in with the fact that in the post credit scene we see Shredder and like in the shadows or whatever. A lot of people are saying like that dynamic is going to be very different from what we've been used to seeing in like almost every interpretation of the Ninja Turtles. So I think that's like another complaint a lot of people are kind of scared about seeing like how that plays off in the future.
Yeah, everything is I feel like is going to be pretty different about this. It's very different take, which I think people are just gonna have to either accept or not like it. Like,
I mean, yeah. There's like like you said earlier, there's like a million different interpretations of the turtles from like the comics and from TV shows, movies, etc. So just you can pick and choose whichever your favorite is.
yeah, and if you don't like this, I don't think you're wrong, but
Yeah,
I think you should be able to like see like that that doesn't mean it's bad. Like, just
right.
because you don't like it doesn't make it necessarily bad. It's just maybe not for you, not their interpretation you enjoy.
Yeah,
Like, for example, I think my least favorite part about it is them going to high school at the end. Like,
yeah,
that just doesn't feel Ninja Turtles to me at all. Like,
right.
I like that they're like, oh, like, I want to be human and I want to be accepted. I like the message of that whole thing, but like, to see them going to high school, like what? Now we're in the next movie, we're gonna get the tropey villain going to the high school fight where he like fights him in the high school like halls. Like,
Probably it's gonna be Shredder busting in through the Eastman High and like looking for the turtles.
I know. I don't know. I don't like the whole high school thing, but
No,
it is what it is.
that's true. I really like how I saw this on Twitter. How this is like the first movie to ever use the word. I mean, allegedly, this is the first movie who uses like the word Riz.
I remember that part.
I mean, a lot of their dialogue is like so like dumb, but like in a good way, in the comedic good way, and in my opinion, at least. So
Yeah, to hear Riz was definitely a shock. I was like, wow, okay, we're going there.
yeah, and especially when not Donnie, Leo calls April on the phone, and then he's like, "Hi, April," and like he voice cracks while
Yeah.
saying like, and they're all like laughing at him, and then after the phone call, like, who does have Riz now?
Yeah.
Like, what? He just fumbled. He fumbled the entire phone call. Oh, another fun fact: when we were seeing TMNT, we saw it opening night. We snuck in a whole box of pizza.
That's funny. That's funny.
Yeah, it was surprisingly very easy. They just
I
didn't
believe
care.
it. I believe it. Theater employees are caring less and less.
Yeah, thank God. I mean, in the sense of seeking food, thank God, because prices nowadays. I know, like the AMC near me, a pretzel's like $13.
Yeah, they
Like,
probably understand. They probably.
yeah,
My favorite scene in the entire movie, though, was uh when it's like a montage of them beating up bad guys,
yeah.
and like it's like four different montages. Each one is like a different turtle, like
Hmm.
leading them into like. I love that part. It's just that's just like classic fun Ninja Turtles, like them beating up bad guys. Like that was
Yeah,
great.
it was really good. Um, I know, like in the I don't know how I felt about Superfly mutating into like that big monster in the at the end. Just like being like a big kaiju monster. How did you feel about that?
I thought it was fun, and I thought just Ice Cube kept being hilarious as
Yeah,
it. Like, he was cracking me up.
yeah.
One, what were we gonna say?
I thought it was like like a generic the bad guy evolves to like a big monster, destroy a city, whatever. But like it was funny how the way they executed it, and I love how Mr. Beast has a cameo in it as like that one random New York guy.
What the
It's like
hell?
what? But
So,
it was fun.
one of my other least favorite parts of it that is just becoming a trope in movies. I don't know if it's the Guardians of the Galaxy effect or what, but like I felt like every 3 seconds there was another song
Oh yeah.
instead of like a really cool soundtrack like moment, like really great soundtrack. We're just getting like Down Diggity by whatever the guy's name is. That's the song they play when it's the four of them, the montage I was talking about.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that makes sense. Hopefully, I feel like it is like an effect of Guardians of the Galaxy, where like they always have to input like a popular song, and I like the Mondo Gecko song they played from like that He-Man meme back in the like early 2000s.
I did like that song. It's not always bad. Like that part
Yeah.
was, I like that song being there.
Yeah,
But
but I do understand like the criticism of like having a pop culture song like every like 5 seconds. Like Guardians does it. The 2016 Suicide Squad, very infamous for it because it was just like Slim Shady, then like Queen, then like some other artist or whatever. So it is getting tiresome, and I would have. It is like nice when you hear like an original score
yeah,
being played throughout like an action sequence or like so on and so forth.
like I think I love it in Guardians because that's kind of like it was meant for that. But I don't know. It just feels lazy to me. Like that way you don't have to make an entire score for like a specific scene. But like just look at Across the Spider-Verse. Like a score like that, I think it elevates the movie so much. Like
Yeah,
it makes those scenes like it's so epic and like so great. And they have some songs in there too. It's not bad like all the time.
that's
And
true.
it can be fun, but uh yeah, I really love like original soundtracks and I think they can elevate a movie.
Definitely. And hopefully they do that in the sequel and animated series, but who knows? Overall, out of was it we're doing out of 5 or 10?
10.
Okay, out of 10 stars, what would you what would you give Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem?
I'll give it a 7.
7. Yeah, I'll give it a. I'll give it an 8 for me. I'll give it an 8, maybe 7.5 or 8. Teetering,
Yeah,
tottering.
7.5. It's a good time.
It's
I
good.
think
It's a really good time. It's really funny, and just the animation really was really cool in this.
I think the most important thing is like I think teenagers and younger audiences are just going to adore this movie. Like I
Oh yeah,
think like this is going to make a lot of Ninja Turtle fans uh for the younger audience because we really haven't had like any good Ninja Turtle stuff in a long time.
that is
So
true.
I think this is going to be really valuable for that younger audience that this was made for. Uh, but
Yeah,
like older people and Ninja Turtle fans will still get a lot out of it. So I think it's overall a great thing.
yeah, I totally agree with that because I saw I saw it the second time alone, just like by myself, and it was kind of weird because it was just me, a 23-year-old man. It's like in the theater full of like parents with their children. I'm like, I feel a little bit out of place here. Um, but like the kids that were coming in, they had like a Ninja Turtle like shirt on. They had that's like the stuffed animals, the action figures. I know one kid had like the Raphael bandana, and I know like Target, Walmart has like huge shelves just like dedicated to the TMNT stuff. I went to Walmart yesterday, got myself a TMNT T-shirt from the 80s show, so like the classic TMNT. So
Nice.
I was pretty high. It was only $8, so I was like, absolutely, let me get that. Uh, but yeah, I mean, I totally agree with what you're saying. It'll bring more kids the introduction of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles that they want, and like they have a bunch of other stuff like from the past they could like like watch for the first time, and for like already existing Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle fans, um, a lot of them like it. A lot of them are like kind of iffy on it. But it's still like more Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle stuff that's being pumped out.
Yeah.
All right. So speaking of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, let's move on to Volume 5 of the IDW collection of this series. I gotta say, this is probably my favorite one so far.
This is my favorite one.
Yeah.
This is my favorite one.
Yeah, this is great. Why don't you kick off? Well, some of the things. I have a list. We have 4 different storylines. We got the first. I think that's the first one, the Turtles in Time. And then the part of the main storyline. And then it cuts to the TMNT Ghostbusters crossover, and then the last section of it is the attack on the Technodrome. Yeah.
Technodrome, yeah. I read the beginning of Turtles in Time, then I started skimming it, and then I stopped. And then I didn't read Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters was so fun.
Was it?
It was so awesome.
I'm glad that it's good. I just didn't read it. But the main series itself, it has the least of the reincarnation that I've ever seen.
That is
I
true.
mean, they barely even talk about it. probably because they talk about it in Turtles of Time,
Yeah,
but they barely talk about it. It's mainly just some good old fashioned Ninja Turtles stuff, and it's like, oh, it's so
it's
good.
pretty damn good. It's really damn good. All right, so just want to talk about Turtles in Time for a little bit. Which part you read? Did you read the first like 2 issues or?
Yeah, I read the first two. I want to fully read the Pirates one. It has like a watercolor art that
Yeah,
looks really cool.
that was a good one.
I'm going to like actually read that one. I read the first two, and the second one I almost threw my my
That was a
tablet.
really cool one. I like that one a lot. I don't know. I didn't like the first one with when they're like in the prehistoric times. I didn't really like it because
Nope.
yeah,
That one was boring.
yeah. I mean, the whole thing of like this miniseries Turtles in Time, I was kind of confused on like why they're jumping, from different time periods, and it kind of does explain it in the series. But like, I look back in the volume 4, see like, was there anything like who was
Are you
like
talking about that character? The
yeah,
girl?
yeah. I was like,
They're like-
who is this? I was like, who the hell is this?
It's probably in one of the dumb miniseries that we never read, but like they're like it starts with an R. They're like Rainu, and she's like,
Yeah,
it's me, guys.
I'm like, who the hell? I literally had to go back to skim through the entire 4th volume. I was like, who the hell is this character? And what's her name? Let's
Like
see.
they were like pumped to see her.
Renette. Her name is
Yeah.
Renette. Yeah, I have no idea what this person is. But I mean, whatever. The second one I really liked. I really liked it a lot. I know you don't like the reincarnation stuff, but I thought it was really cool. I really like how they dressed up as samurai, which
That
was
was cool.
which was really really sick.
That was cool.
What was it? I just like the art style on this too. It's very like different. I don't think we had seen this art style before in the series, from what I remember.
Yeah, I like the art style.
I do kind of like how they meet like their original mom, and like how Mikey, gets to. Actually, no, she is. I know it's got to be your favorite part too.
It was interesting.
But I don't know. I like the fight between Leo and Oroku Saki, whatever. How like their little brawl from in feudal Japan. I thought that was really sick. And like how they're saying like we can't do. I think it was in this one or another one where they said they can't kill him because it would just like disrupt the entire timeline and stuff like that. Yeah. And he was like, I don't care. I want to kill him. I'm like, no, bro, you're just gonna mess everything up. I like that a lot. What is it? The Pirates one is really cool. Like you said, the watercolors.
Yeah,
was so good. I don't know. If do you mind if I talk about it?
You can talk about it.
All right. So it is really cool. The watercolors. I love how the turtles are interacting with like the pirates, and the pirates make Mikey the captain.
I think I saw that.
He has like the whole get up and everything, which is really really cool. And they're fighting the other. I think it was. I know Krang's involved somehow. And like I think the pirates that they're opposing are working for Krang, which is really cool. But one of the main takeaways from this is just the art style. That's just really really cool. I liked it a lot. I think this is my second favorite one, and my third favorite one was when they go forward in time to a timeline where Shredder wins. Essentially,
that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So they think they're in the right time or whatever, but like it reveals that they're not. And it's really interesting seeing how like Shredder's kind of like taking over, I think at least like New York or whatever, because I know there's a map that kind of divides the world, like North America and South America. That's like the foot, and then like Europe, Asia, and Africa are like Krang, because like there's like a map with like a footprint on North and South America, and then like a little doodle of Krang for Asia, Europe, and then
that's
Africa.
Cool.
So it is really cool. There's like a nice little thing where like there's only one turtle remaining, which gives me like Last Ronin vibes. But but like it's only the turtle and then one other person that's like left alive essentially after like the whole battle and everything, and they're like in a rebellion. They're kind of, their morale's low, obviously, because like how difficult it is to oppose them. Um, but yeah, it was really interesting because it kind of like gives uh Donnie like more like a motive to prevent that timeline from happening, because like he's kind of like down. He's saying like, I can't believe like something like that happened, and he's like afraid of like if that actually happens. But like it said, like it's a possible like
Yeah.
reality. It's a possible reality. So you can change it. Which just depends on how you act from here on out. So I thought it was really cool. But yeah, I like the series a lot. Turtles in Time is a good time.
Yeah. I need to. I'm gonna read the last two ones eventually.
Alrighty.
I want to check those out.
Okay, now we're gonna jump to the main series for a little bit. Basically, all in all, in this series, we get introduced to Hobbs's mutanimals. I think they're called. We got
Yeah.
Herman the Hermit Crab and Mondo Gecko. I think Herman the Hermit Crab is awesome because
Dude,
he's basically got tank.
He's the best. He is, dude. I loved him so much. He's basically like, he's like acting like he's like in the army. He's always, sir, yes, sir, and he's like, dude, he was cracking me up.
Yeah, he was great. It kind of reminds me, like, he kind of like the look of like somewhat like Mr. Krabs, obviously because
Yeah.
he's a crab, or like a crustacean or whatever. But he was really funny. He had like the dumpster can or thing, and as like his little shell. He was really funny, and he has like a whole. He's strapped. He has like a minigun. He has missiles. He has grenades. He has everything.
Yeah, I don't know how the ooze created that mutation. I don't know how the ooze created
Right.
huge machine guns and ballistics, but it makes for a cool character.
Yeah, and like essentially what like Hobbs is trying to do is trying to make an army, a mutant army, to go against Shredder and all of them. But I think the pigeon Pete makes a makes a reappearance and recruits the wrong people.
Pigeon Pete.
Yeah, it's also there's like a little thing with Harold and Angel, because she's like wearing that armor now. I like how they have to use code names. So I think her code name, Angel's code name, is Nobody or something dumb like that.
One of them is Kirby Fan, which I think is supposed to be like a reference to Jack Kirby.
Yeah, that's what I thought too, because I was like, I watched like 3 different like video essays on like the creation of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and like Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird said like their biggest inspiration was like, among other artists, the main one was like Jack Kirby.
Yeah.
So that's what I kind of like thought, a nice little homage to Jack Kirby, which I really like. But yeah, well, the fight between the Mutanimals and Bebop and Rocksteady was pretty crazy, because I didn't know how insanely strong and durable Bebop and Rocksteady are.
Yeah, that fight was really fun.
Yeah,
just a bunch of mutants fighting each other. Like that was really fun. I thought the only downside, and it's really a nitpick of like the whole volume, at least of the main series, was every time it went to like Casey and April's parents, I was like, okay.
like I don't care.
Like, and I mean, I kind of like it because like I like Casey and April's relationship, and like he's helping the parents like build up this shop or whatever, but like it was always just like this like awesome action between like the mutants or whatever, and then like it would go to that and be like, oh well,
Go cut to Casey fixing April's dad's coffee machine. I'm like, all right.
like damn, go back to the turtles and the gecko and the
right,
and then ballistic hermit crab.
Yeah, I mean, I like there's another part I like where like how like they begin fighting. It's like, because the whole purpose is like to fight against the humans, for that's like Hobbs' agenda. And then when Bebop and Rocksteady say like we're half human, Hobbs is like human, and he immediately like starts cutting him down.
Just starts shooting them. And they were like about to fight with them. They were about to like
Right.
be on their side.
Right. And I mean, I guess I understand Hobbs's like point of view, or like he hates humans, even though like they're mutants, they're
Yeah.
still humans. But it was just like a quick thing where like humans, and he just whips out the pistol, it's like gunning him down.
I think they Bebop and Rocksteady call him Prejudice too.
Yeah, yeah, they do. Um, but the whole fight scene was really awesome because like they pour everything on these two, and they do not like stay down. They
Yeah.
drop an entire building on them. They get back up like as if it was nothing.
Yeah.
So that's just like that's crazy. What else?
Are you going to go into Ghostbusters now?
I might have to. Oh, one thing. The end of this, I like how it kind of like sets up Technodrome, where Donnie goes to recruit Shredder to help fight against Krang, stuff like that, with like the little robot thing, and like he basically just like tweaks out this entire section because he's like getting on edge. He's getting on edge. He's really like pissed off about like them like not putting the entire focus on the Technodrome being built, so he's really on edge and stuff like that. So I think that's interesting.
Yeah, I thought that was in the next part of the next arc, but yeah, the whole time I was on Donnie's side. I was like, he was like, guys, why are we going after Shredder when Krang is building something that's going to destroy the world?
Right.
It's like, but, and even at the very end, Splinter admits, he was like, yeah, I was too tied up, like, in my, basically like my bloodlust to go after Shredder, and you were right. And like we'll talk about it later, but like just the like way they do this whole plot, like Donnie and the Turtles go behind the scenes and like make it to where they can fight everybody at once. That was just like the coolest thing ever.
Yeah.
But I was on Donnie's side. I was like,
for sure.
You need to stop Krang. He's gonna
right. He's gonna decimate the whole world.
Yeah. There's no point in attacking Shredder if you're all dead.
Yeah, exactly. So after that little fight between Bebop and Rocksteady and the Mutanimals and the Turtles and all that stuff, we cut to a very awesome crossover issues. I've never watched Ghostbusters.
Me neither.
I've never watched Ghostbusters. After reading this, I wanted to watch Ghostbusters, but I can't find it on any streaming service, and I think I have to rent it, which I don't want to do, but I don't know. I'm not that in a hurry to watch Ghostbusters, but this was really, really fun. One of the things I really liked is how it starts off and ends still tied in with like the series, and like it makes sense. It's not like something that happens just out of nowhere. Was it? So we see like in the beginning, like first few pages, we see like the main villain of the story arc, which is it's Kitsune's brother. The Fox thing, it's her brother. He gets shoved into like that portal thing we see in like when they're in feudal Japan, and he gets stuck in like in a limbo there. So that's kind of like prefacing like how he becomes a threat in this issue, and how the Turtles go into the world of the Ghostbusters. They're testing out their teleportation thing they've been working on for the past couple of issues. But then Harold sees a fly and starts swatting at it, and his finger flicks the only switch where it says, spatial dimension do not touch. So it flicks on, and then they get teleported to the Ghostbusters universe. And then from there on, it's just like the Ghostbusters and TMNT teaming up to fight this. I forget what his name was, but it's Kitsune's brother. He was okay. He was like kind of like a generic villain, where he's just there to rule the world because he's from a different time period, and the new time period doesn't go by whatever he believes. He wants to rule it and to make it his own creation. Blah blah blah, stuff like that. So it was all right, but I still like how it still ties in with like the main story and doesn't really feel out of place. One of the things I really like about this story is like their dynamics with one another. I like how the Turtles interact with like the Ghostbusters, and Donnie obviously like geeks out with like seeing all this like Ghostbuster equipment. He's like, "Oh my god, look at all this stuff!" I'm like, yeah. Also, obviously, in like typical Mikey fashion, he wears like the Ghostbuster like jumpsuit, which is pretty funny because it's like super. It looks super weird on him because he had like the huge turtle shell, which was really fun. The art style, I really like the art style on this. It's really, I don't know how to describe it. It feels like kind of like one of those like Renaissance Disney movies. Like,
I saw it when I was flipping through, so
yeah,
I can
and
see that's a good way to describe it.
it's like it really fits like with like this whole thing. And I don't know, I just really I like how like fluid it is, and I like how like the coloring is like very like I don't know how to describe it, like very soft and like
Yeah.
it's really nice. I like the art style in this, and just overall the action's great. The character like chemistry is really really good. It doesn't feel like anything forced or anything. It just feels it's a good time, honestly, and it's really really fun. And it makes me want to read the Ghostbusters series IDW has. So
Oh, I didn't even know they had one.
yeah, I didn't know that either because well, like in the series they referenced something that happened in issue 38 of Ghostbusters or whatever. So I was like, oh, that's cool. So yeah, I liked it a lot. It was a lot of fun, and it makes me want to get into like Ghostbusters and stuff.
I'm glad it was good. I'm glad you liked it.
It's really good.
I I I don't have anything against the Ghostbusters. I just was like, skip. Like
I think they just referenced it like very vaguely in
they do.
Technodrome.
They do. He's using the teleporter, and Donnie's like, "Don't do that thing you did last time." And
Right.
he's like, that's all they say.
But onto like the meat of this, the attack on Technodrome. This was a really really cool. There's like a lot of moving parts in this.
I don't know who the artist was, but this was some damn good art.
Yeah.
The art here was so good. I love the way the turtles were drawn. I love the art here. It was definitely a different artist. I had never seen them in the IDW series drawn this way.
Yeah.
It wasn't the Schnauzer artist. They didn't have like
there's like no Schnoz in this, which is kind of disappointing.
I was glad. It was about time. It was about time that they got drawn without huge noses.
Oh man.
in the first arc though, it's that original artist who does the
the schnozzes.
Yeah. Because I can tell as soon as I see Mikey, I'm like, oh, it's that guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love the art here. This is when we see, I mean, just the way like the turtles have their own plan that they don't even tell Splinter.
Mm-hmm.
Stockman has like his own plan. He like betrays the Fugitoid. Like just the way like all the different plans like crisscross and
so many plans.
Like I actually didn't know where it was gonna go next, and
right.
I just loved that aspect. I was like glued to this arc.
It was, I mean, it's basically the culmination of everything we read and haven't read so far. Because I know there's like a whole thing with like, was it there's like a whole story miniseries of in I think Volume 3 about like the time of like with the Fugitoid and making like the Technodrome or whatever. Obviously, I'm not reading anything where Fugitoid is like the center character.
They reference a Stockman, I think one shot because he has like little flies now, and I was like, how did he do that? But
yeah, I remember reading that one. I think I was like in volume, I think 1 or 2, but I do remember reading that. I was like, oh, okay, so it does pay off 3 or 4 volumes later.
But they pick and choose which ones pay off. So I'm not gonna take my chances.
The one frame that they pulled from the one shot, I was like, oh, okay. If I didn't read the one shot, I was like, oh, okay, he did that, way back when. Okay.
Yeah, he built some flies. That's all I need to know. Yeah, I get it.
But yeah, like I mean, like you said, there's like a plan. Everyone has a plan. Strider has a plan. Krang has a plan that he got from Fugitoid and Stockman. The Turtles have a plan. Splinter and Hobbs have a plan. It's just like everything's just like intersecting, weaving through one another, and I mean, again, like you said, you don't really know what's going to happen next.
Yeah, I almost like that's how I know like I'm really liking these characters. I almost like really felt bad for Hobbs and the mutants when like the turtles ditched them and didn't
Right.
tell them what was going on. I was like, no, I was like, I feel bad for Hobbs and
Right.
Mondo and the and the hermit crab. Like, I wanted them to know like they weren't really ditching them. They just were stopping the world from dying. So
Yeah.
yeah, just Donnie is the highlight turtle in this like volume. He is the man, dude. Like
he's him.
he's him, dude. He saves the world.
Yeah.
He recruits Shredder, Splinter's nemesis, to basically help them, but also stabs him in the back. It was a masterfully crafted plan by Donnie.
It was really cool. And I mean, just like the battle between Krang and Shredder was really badass too. Yeah. Especially with the two henchmen that each of them have going head to head was really cool. And just like the final issue was like, because I know when Shredder was skeptical from the start, saying like, if you do anything that will go against like me, I'll have you killed. And like, and I think in the second to last issue or something, he orders Bebop and Rocksteady, who's like watching over Donnie back at their base, to kill him. And I was like, oh, what's gonna happen now? Because like we've seen Bebop and Rocksteady what they're able to do, what they're able to stand up against. So like, how's Donnie gonna stand up against Bebop and Rocksteady? So it's just
he doesn't.
He does not. I was like, damn, there's no way.
The only issue I have is like they have a panel where it looks like they drop a hammer on him. It looks like they like probably crushed his skull, like instantly killing him.
Yeah.
And then in the very last page, he has like a couple cuts and is like laying there. I think he's supposed to be dead.
Yeah.
And I wanted to like feel like, oh damn it, like Donnie's dead, but like he's not. Like, I don't know.
I feel like at least they should have like shown like his shell like completely like destroyed or something like that. Maybe like some aspect of like I mean the effect of a sledgehammer being slammed onto you by like two like extremely like strong mutants.
I think I just wouldn't have even showed him just to like really keep the readers like, oh god, like what? Because I mean, I'm sure he'll come back, but
oh yeah, definitely.
They made it seem like he straight up died.
Yeah, and like in that panel where you're talking about how like they swung on him, it's like the big like motion of the hammer going down on Donnie. You see his shadow in the background. It's a big crack, like the word crack, just like there in the background, like exemplifying like the damage done to Donnie. But yeah, that was hard. And I feel like that whole battle was done for. I think what was it? Stockman basically takes over the Technodrome basically, or he does for like a brief second, but then Krang's like, "You think I was gonna not have a contingency for this?" And does that.
He has like a malware or something to where if it's going for 60 seconds, he becomes the one in control. And Krang's like, yeah, like I'm not gonna let that happen.
Yeah. And I really like how they kind of take down Krang, where Raph just like stabs his size into like the robot that Krang's in, which is really awesome.
Yeah.
Just the whole fight with the turtles and Krang was really badass. We cut to Splinter and Angel, Nobody, whatever, fighting Karai. That whole thing.
That part was really cool.
I mean, everything like ends with like wanting more. Like there's like still like stuff to be done. Like kind of like you're like left on the edge of your seat, like what happened? Because like they kind of just disappear in like toward like the middle or end of the battle for Karai and all of them, the rest of the Foot.
And Splinter's talking to her, and he's like, "I know you think this is wrong. Like, he's like, I used to be with the Foot, but I know you can tell like this isn't what it should be, and you can tell she's like doubting it."
Yeah.
While they have like a epic sword fight.
And then that was cool. I feel like, see, after reading this, I know like this whole run, the creative team on this run leaves after volume 13, right? I'm still wondering how like all of this builds up to, like if it's Krang or is it like...
I think it'll be them versus Shredder. I think it's going to be Shredder and the Foot versus the Turtles, and
Yeah.
maybe like Hobbs is with the Turtles, and I don't know, but
because like we also see Stockman taking
yeah,
Shredder to like who knows where.
like I think that's what it will be. Is it'll be I don't think Krang. If I had to guess in the final like arc, Krang won't be there. I think it'll be like Stockman and Shredder versus like the Turtles and Hobbs, and yeah, that's what I would guess. But we also see that I forget who explains it to Krang. It might be Fugitoid. He's like, now your people do have a place to live, like because what that drone was going to do was basically make Earth into like Ultra Minion, and like he's like, now your people have a place, but you won't be in it. And then he brings the people from what's the weird little people's names? The rebels from Volume 2.
Oh, Neutrino.
The Neutrino. He brings the Neutrino, and from what I think the Neutrino are now going to live maybe in that little sect, that little pocket where it's like the new Ultra Minion, but it's on Earth. So that's pretty interesting. They could have like a piece of their planet on Earth, like their own little area.
I don't know how I feel about like just them taking Krang as a prisoner, because whenever people take the villain prisoner, they always like either kill the people who are in the guarding the prison or whatever, or like they're all gonna die.
Just
like he's gonna escape. It's like it's pretty given. He's gonna escape in some way or fashion. But yeah, it's still. I mean, it ends off with a bunch of things still open. Nothing really seals the deal for any of them.
Yeah, it basically just puts everyone in the new position. Like now Stockman is with Splinter, and now the Neutrino are on the Ultra Minion on Earth, and everyone's just kind of in a different spot than they were before.
I would bet that Stockman and Shredder. Stockman's gonna do something to Shredder to make him like a mutant, like something like because I know the 2012 show did it. I know there are like a bunch of like different adaptations that like made Shredder into like a mutant monster or whatever. So I wouldn't be surprised if that happened.
Yeah, me too. Yeah,
but I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised or angry if they did it, but it would be much more appreciated if they wouldn't go that route. But who knows?
I could possibly be into it. It just depends. Depends how they do it. I think it could be cool.
Definitely. I think that's it. That's all the whole volume. Was there anything else you want to talk about this before we give our official rankings?
I was also reading, like on the plane, some of this Punisher comic, and it was honestly such a breath of fresh air to see the bad guys just get slaughtered finally. Like no putting them in prison so they can escape. Like in this part I was reading, he goes to this mafia guy's birthday party and kills like literally almost all of them, and then the ones he didn't kill, when they go to the funeral, he kills them at the funeral. He kills the rest of them when they're mourning over the and I was like,
that's pretty smart.
I was like, after like reading stuff like this where it's like, yeah, let's imprison Krang, like kill him.
Yeah, kill him. Like he's gonna be, if anything, he's gonna be more of a threat later on.
Yeah, you're gonna have to kill that guy. So
yeah.
But yeah, overall, because that, and I always only rank like the main series, because there was basically no reincarnation. I'm giving it a full 5-star. Full
Alrighty.
5-star.
I'm gonna give it also a 5-star. I mean, there's nothing that I didn't like. That like there are things that are like kind of like iffy about, but like there's nothing that I directly I don't like this at all.
Yeah, I don't think 5-star necessarily has to mean perfect.
Yeah,
and I'm trying to be reserved when I give 5 stars, but I can't help it. Like when a comic is as good as this and like just has me glued to the page from beginning to end, like this, and like Batman Hush, for example. when I'm that glued to the page, I can't help it. That's just a 5-star there. So
Yeah, it's a good read. Definitely check out the IDW series. It's really great. It's consistent. You don't have to read any of the tie-ins from the first like three volumes. But yeah, it's a great read. But yeah, that was our in-depth review of TMNT IDW Collection Volume 5. We're not even halfway done yet. We're not even halfway done.
and it's funny because last volume was probably my least favorite,
Mm-hmm.
and I was starting to like just get a little. I was like, I'm hearing a lot about reincarnation, and I'm falling off a little bit, but
Yeah.
I'm right back on. It was so damn good.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely had my moments with this. I think it was like more volume 3 where I kind of felt like I was like falling off a little bit, but then like we're back up, baby. We're back up.
We're back. We're
We're
back.
back. I'm excited to see like what's to come. So I'm excited.
Yeah, definitely.
I do want to talk about this before we close out. The new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle video game, The Last Ronin.
Dude.
I'm so excited. We just got like a promo teaser for it. But I'm hyped. I've never read The Last Ronin, but I might. Well, not might. I will. But I think I'm reading.
Once we get like a actual trailer for this game, we read it
Yeah,
for the podcast,
it
and
makes sense.
we both read it. There's there's rumors that I wish it was made by the same studio, but there's rumors that it's being made like very inspired by God of War, and that's just the rumors.
Dude,
That's just the rumors. I wish it was the studio. I wish if Santa Monica Studio was making this game, I would cry. But
10 out of 10 game of the year.
yeah, it would be a 10 out of 10 game, no doubt.
Oh
But
man,
I don't know. Did they say what studio is making it? I don't know who's making it.
I think it's THQ. Yeah,
Dude, I saw the funniest like comment or like thread where somebody was like, "Oh, something about like how cool it'll be to like something of playing as Leonardo or whatever," and somebody just coming back the meme of "Does he know?" Like,
oh yeah.
Does he know?
But yeah, it is by THQ Nordic Digital, or just Nordic, whatever.
I know THQ. I don't know.
I haven't heard THQ in like since I was a kid.
It's been forever since I've heard.
But I mean, the trailer looks really cool, even though it doesn't really show anything besides like the cannons being blown out. But man, I'm really hyped for it. It looks really cool.
I hope that's good, dude. I really hope that's. I hope like, they don't screw that up,
dude. Playing the Ninja Turtle as if you're playing like Kratos would be sick.
And that, like, that's probably going to be an M-rated game. Like, I would hope crossed. So. Yeah, I hope they go all out.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm excited for that. God of War inspired TMNT Last Ronin. Oh man, sounds really cool. But yeah, I think that's it for TMNT related items as of this recording. So that was it.
Yeah, I actually don't know what we're doing next episode. Right when we finish this, I'll go check. But I've got a giveaway I'm going to be doing for once the Ahsoka show drops.
Alrighty.
Should be sometime soon. Still got that YouTube giveaway. It's ending on the 21st. I think there's like 2 or 3 people in it. So, I mean, you gotta hop in. Like you're gonna have really good chances to win.
That is true. So make sure to go to YouTube if you want a semi-easy way to win a giveaway. But yeah, definitely check us out on YouTube, Comics from the World, and on Twitter, Instagram, and on TikTok at ComicsRTW. I'm always on those 3 social media sites. We're also on Threads. I made a thread like a while back, but like I never keep up with it. It's just like, who cares? But if you do want to follow our threads, same thing as ComicsRTW. I post like once every 2 or 3 weeks because that's when I remember that we have a Threads account.
We have a Threads account.
But yeah, definitely follow us there to keep up on our stuff. I know on TikTok I'm doing a comic artist spotlight series. I'm also doing news every week. So, seeing what new series are announced, stuff like that. And TikTok obviously is also our giveaway, our main giveaway, and then our YouTube giveaway with 2 or 3 people.
Yeah, we had a giveaway on TikTok and the winner didn't respond, and then I tried to hit somebody else up. He didn't respond. We eventually found someone. I'm gonna go ship him the stuff out today. But if you win those giveaways, make sure to see if you won.
Yeah,
because I do want to give them away. So
yeah. So we don't know what we're gonna do next episode, so it's gonna be a surprise. We're excited. But yeah, I am going to see the Blue Beetle movie tonight.
Oh yeah, I just got a message that with my movie pass, I guess they're really trying to get people to go see it. That you get to see it in free IMAX. Usually with the movie pass,
what?
Yeah, usually with the movie pass, like you have to pay like an extra. Well, you get free movie tickets, but you have to probably pay like $6-7. Like I paid like $6-7 to go see Oppenheimer. But they're like, yeah, you can go see for free in IMAX. So I'm going to see for free in IMAX.
That's cool. I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of iffy on the movie, so who knows? As an 88 right now, so I don't know.
That might be what I think that's what the next episode is. I think we were going to maybe read something Blue Beetle and review the movie.
Yeah. We're going to do, because usually what we do is like, we do it before the movie. We'll say like, here's what you want to read before seeing the movie with like the titular character. But it still works because, if you've seen Blue Beetle, here's more content you want to read from him.
Yeah, I think we were going to do you read the older stuff, I read
Alrighty.
Kind of a new segment or an evolved segment.
Yeah, and since the Blue Beetle that's the movie's based on is the third person to take up the Blue Beetle moniker, it's going to be interesting learning about the other Blue Beetles, so make sure to stay tuned for that.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, again, make sure to follow us on TikTok, Instagram, and on Twitter at ComicsRTW, YouTube, and Threads. I almost forgot it again. Threads at ComicsRTW and Comics Around the World on Spotify and on YouTube, which you probably are listening to right now. That's all I got. You got anything else to say?
That's all I got.
Alrighty. Well, make sure to check out our previous episodes. This is our 25th episode right now. I just realized that. 25, a quarter way to 100. So if we do get 1,000 on our TikTok, we can probably go live for our 100th episode or our 50th episode, depending on because every time we upload a video on TikTok, we get like 3 or 4 new followers, so which is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's been really awesome seeing like just people checking us out more. Yeah, that'd definitely be really fun to like go live on TikTok for like the 100th episode or something.
Yeah, we do like a little like live Q&A thing. People like type in like a question they got, we answer them. It'd be cool.
And my video game going live on YouTube is going to be very soon. I said towards the end of August, and that's still true. Probably like early September or end of August. I'm gonna start doing that. So
awesome. Well, definitely check those out. And yeah, thank you for watching today's episode. Make sure to check out next episode if you've seen the Blue Beetle. If the 3 of you who've seen the Blue Beetle movie see it, definitely go check out our next episode where we talk about Blue Beetle in the comics and its origins and the other Blue Beetles and TC history and all that stuff. And that's it. And just make sure that comics run the world.